Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Channel Claire. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy, crazy world. So it looks like it's gearing up to be an incredibly messy divorce for Kandi and Todd. As we know, we found out last week that the couple who had been together, I guess it was 10 or 11 years, um, Kandi filed for divorce. She also was on Amazon Live. It was at the end of last week or either this weekend, and she let us know that she's struggling. It's a day by day situation. Sometimes when she's out with her girls and she's hanging out, everything's good. But those quiet moments when she's alone, she really does feel the effects of divorcing her husband, Todd. They've been together 11 years. And I mean, there's a lot of speculation as to what has gone on as to the downfall of their marriage. I am hearing, it's not confirmed by like TMZ or People, but I did see somewhere on a blog that he might have allegedly had a side baby on her, which is just very, very hurtful. Also, people saying that this was just all a scheme set up by Todd to get to the money. Because I don't know if you guys watched the wedding special that they had on Bravo. Todd, he did not sign the prenup until the day of the wedding. Thankfully, Kandi is smart. She had a great legal team. They had it on camera. They asked questions such as, were you threatened? Were you pressured by your wife or any third party? And he said no to those questions. And he was on camera. Now I am seeing that potentially he is going after full custody for the kids. And I just think that this is going to get very messy. There was a video where Todd was basically saying he's daddy daycare because we know Kandi, she works, okay? And the work that Kandi does, she has to travel. She has to travel all over the place and it's all the time. So she can't really be home for her kids in that way, like, a typical mother might be. But she's the breadwinner of the family. So the roles are reversed. Todd's at home caring for the kids, taking them to school, taking them to their events and practices and whatnot. And so he's over online calling himself Daddy Daycare. And so he's requesting full custody or primary custody of the kids. What mother wants to be it just like as a mother, like even if the situation would be better for Todd to have the kids full time because he's able to because of his schedule versus Kandi's schedule, what mother wants to give primary care up of their kids? That it's hurtful. It also has a stigma to it, like, oh, your work comes before your children, like all of those things. So I doubt that Kandi's gonna let this fly. I believe she's probably going to fight for it. But yeah, trying to get primary custody of the two kids. And let's go to this US Weekly exclusive. Okay, so it says RHOA alum Kandi Burruss ex Todd Tucker demands primary custody, questions prenuptial agreement. Now, I know, from what I saw when I was watching the special, it seemed like they had a pretty airtight divorce or, prenup, sorry. They had an airtight prenup for Kandi. Like, you leave with what you came with, property splitting, Kandi could sell her property, what she wants with it. Todd needs to be out in 30 days. It seemed to me it was pretty cut and dry. But I'm seeing online that potentially if you pass like that 10-year mark when you're married, that you're somehow maybe you can get certain, I don't want to say perks, but you are owed certain monies, especially if your lifestyle was primarily being funded by the breadwinner. In this case, it is Kandi. In most cases, it is generally the man. And I see that there is a double standard because, like, I feel a type of way with Todd trying to get Kandi's money. But if it was the other way around, I might feel like Kandi was owed it because typically, women, we take care of everything and then some. Lives are put on hold, taking care of the kids, putting your husband's needs before you. And this case is very different because Kandi was the breadwinner. She was the one traveling. She was the one doing those things. And so he was caring for the kids primarily. So it might be that she might just give him something to shut him the hell up, which I guess would be appropriate in this case. But it's so fucking messy. And I really just hope this was not a scheme that Todd set up to get to Kandi's money, and that he held on for like the 10-year mark and then did whatever the fuck happened to cause the downfall of their marriage. And now all of a sudden they're getting this divorce, because the clips I've been seeing online with Todd on his, like, I guess he had some type of podcast where Kandi would be in her glam room getting makeup and hair done, and he'd be asking like all these relationship questions, and his takes were always awful. And Todd really thinks he's the prize and should be chased. And it's just like, I don't know where men have gotten off with that perspective. Like, it's just, I just don't get it. It's just so backwards. But it's not just Todd. A lot of men nowadays want to feel like they're the prize and be the one that are chased and pursued, when, for my liking, I want to be the one who's chased and pursued. I'm not chasing and pursuing no man. No, absolutely not. It never works out anyway. I've tried it. I am reformed, but I would never do that again. So, it's going to be interesting to see how this hashes out, see how Kandi and her legal team responds to Todd demanding, per the headline, primary custody of the two kids. It's just a shame that it has to get to this part. I love seeing black love and, you know, marriages with longevity, and I'm always so curious. I'm always asking, like, when I hear somebody's been married for 10 plus years, 20 and 30 plus years, I'm like, what is the secret? And um, a lot of people just say respect, and not, having things be boring, and allowing people space to grow. And because we're always growing and changing every day. Um, and honesty and trust. So, I mean, if you don't have any of those things, I guess it's going to be hard to have a relationship of longevity. And there was cracks. There was definitely cracks. Kandi and Todd had a little spicy relationship. I know they've brought people into their bedroom. You know, they claim it helps marriages, but I don't see how adding another person to an equation of an already struggling relationship is going to help anything. I just don't get it. But yes, you guys, he's trying to get primary custody. He said that the two kids are currently in his care and residing with him in Georgia, while Kandi is in and out of state for work obligations. I believe she is on Broadway, so she's up in New York, so he has them primarily anyway. Wow. Tucker says that her work obligations will require her to continue to be away from the kids for at least the next several months. I mean, he does have legs to stand on. He does. I just hate that this is like this, because Mama Joyce and so many people were warning Kandi about this man being an opportunist, him just wanting, he's very good at getting a come up. And she fought to be with this man, fought to be with this man. She was so in love, ignored her mother, ignored all the other people. And what does he do but prove them all right? A mess. Tucker admitted that he signed a prenuptial agreement before getting hitched on April 4th, 2014, but suggests he was pressured into signing it without his lawyers around. Here we go on some bullshit. I just watched the special. They asked him if he was pressured and or coerced and or threatened, and he said no. It was on camera, so now he's going to say he was pressured. However, Tucker's lawyer said their agreement was presented to Tucker without Tucker having counsel, even though Burris, then counsel, had communicated previously with Tucker's team regarding a potential prenuptial agreement. Despite that knowledge, Kandi's counsel presented the final agreement to Tucker for signature immediately before the wedding ceremony, without any notice or consultation with Tucker's team, who had been... Why does this keep jumping? who had been, I hate this. Okay, so it says, despite the knowledge, Kandi's counsel presented a final agreement to Tucker for signature immediately before the wedding ceremony without any notice or consultation with Tucker's team, who had been significantly engaged in negotiation processes. Tucker's filing alleged these circumstances raised substantial questions concerning the enforceability of said document. Nonetheless, Tucker remains committed to working in good faith to resolve this matter. That word always fucks me up. He wants He's saying he wants to cooperate, but I don't believe it because they've been married for 11 years, right? If Todd felt so pressured, he didn't have his counsel there, it was done right before the wedding, you had 11 years to say, hey, let's like relook at this or something, like maybe, let's have my counsel look at this again. No, no. You do it now when you're trying to get a divorce and trying to get some money. I can't stand this man. Just something about him, like all the people who were saying the shit about him, that he was an opportunist and that he wants to come up. They must have known something. They saw something. Tucker says that in the hopefully unlikely event that they are unable to reach a custody deal, he will be seeking primary physical custody, joint legal custody, and final decision making authority. Oh, gosh. So if they don't come into some compromise, then he's going to go for primary physical custody. He proposed that Kandi is having substantial time and meaningful access to the kids. Tucker's lawyer praised Kandi as a mother. His filing noted that Todd wishes to make clear that he recognizes Kandi as a loving and capable parent, and remains sincerely hopeful that prior and continued discussions between the party will bring full resolution to all matters. This is a hot ass mess. Tucker's counterclaim for divorce also demanded a division of all marital assets, both real, personal, tangible, and intangible, between the parties. Tucker demanded primary physical custody, joint custody, and potentially alimony if the prenuptial arrangement is found to be unenforceable. So he's trying to get some money. He's trying to get some money. So basically, it sounded like to me that fucking prenup that they did on camera is null and void. I guess once you get past 10 to 11 plus years, all that shit is null and void. So he's asking for half of their marital assets, physical, tangible, intangible. He wants it. Kandi, I know Mama Joyce. I hope Mama Joyce is not telling I told you so to Kandi, because it's really not needed in this moment. This man, I don't know what it is about a man that like wants to get alimony from a woman. Like I know it's a double standard, okay? But it just irks me. It just puts the worst taste in my mouth. Like, you are a man. Go be a man and make your own money. You've had all this time to make money off of the name of Kandi. You had all her money to make businesses successful, but every fucking time you were making goddamn business, you were getting sued for some shit. Or it went to the wayside because it wasn't done properly, or the upkeep of the staff wasn't correct, or the food, all the restaurants got shut down because they weren't doing right. So it's just, I'm sure, highly frustrating for Kandi, and I feel bad for her. I really, really do. Because unfortunately, if she would have listened to Mama Joyce and not her heart, she might not be in this situation. But unfortunately, the heart wants what the heart wants. And I guess sometimes we just have to go through life and live as we learn. We'll learn as we live. So that's the latest, y'all. I will keep you updated on this divorce saga.